8:15 and welcome everybody to the Cred.15 at 8:15. My name is Ronan MacDonald. I have the pleasure of being your co-host this morning alongside the wonderful Kendra Strudwick. Our intention at the Cred.15 is to create a space where we can support you to navigate these tough times. Feel like you are connected on these calls every day and with each other. And we want to support you to use this time as an opportunity to build strong habits. We hope in this 15 minutes that you can have an opportunity to slow down for 15 minutes and leave feeling a bit more calm, focused, and positive. Before I hand over to Kendra, some very brief housekeeping. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So after some of our reflective exercises, we will invite you to type your responses into the chat box. At the end of the session, Kendra and I will hang around for a few moments. And if you do have a question or anything you want to discuss, please feel free to hang around and we can make some time to support you. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, please feel free to find the best way to support you to complete and be part of this session this morning. So it's now my absolute pleasure to hand over to Kendra Strudwick to guide us through the first part of our session.
Thank you, Ronan. Good morning, everyone, and good evening for some of you that are not in Australia. Welcome to Cred.15. Let's start with just our normal arrival activity, a short breathing activity. So just follow my prompts and take a deep breath in from the belly. Breathe. Breathe again. Smile. Relax. Arrive. Where you are. Be natural and open to effortlessness, to being, rather than doing. Drop everything. Let go and arrive. Just like the mailman at my front door, apparently. Apologies for the background noise. How are we feeling this morning, folks? Take a few moments now to check in and notice any feelings and sensations that are present for you. Notice your energy levels. Are you running on empty? Or have you got some fuel in the tank today? So just notice, are you red, amber or green in terms of your energy levels? And then tune into the emotions. What's the weather for you in your experience right now? And there might be a word or two that sums that up. Please type that into the chat box once you become aware of it. What's present for you today? I can detect a little bit of a mischievousness. Is that a word? Mischievousness. Katarea's feeling sunny today. I like that you've used a weather description. Vicky's re-energized. Nadia's ready to make things happen, so she's in go-go mode. Ronan's excited. Mickey G's focused this morning. So remember to take the time throughout the day, even just a couple of times, to detect and notice how you're feeling and to accept that, bear witness to that. It's a nice little refresh that you can do for your brain. It'll help you achieve more and stay focused. So let's move into our discussions for today and of course our three main focus areas. Ronan, where do you want to focus today?
So today, Kendra, I thought we'd focus in the area of connect. For those of you who joined us last night, we invited you to reach out to people and see and offer how you could help them by simply asking the question, How can I help? And today we thought we'd look at this slightly differently and think about, what if we were the ones that were asking for help? If someone was to say to us, how could I help you? What would our response be? And in preparation for our conversation today, Kendra and I talked about, why is it so difficult for us to ask for help? So Kendra, I'd love to kick that around for a few minutes if you're okay.
Yeah, it's a really good question. The first thing that pops to my mind is that I think we find it difficult because on some level we judge ourselves for needing help. I think we perceive it as a weakness, that this day and age we should be able to, get on and get by and not need the help and assistance of others. So I think it's that judgment around it, that self-judgment. The other thing that's there is the fear of rejection. Like, what if the other person says no? I'd rather not ask than get rejected. And the third thing that comes up for me around this is I don't think we've ever been taught how to. I actually don't think that's something that we spend time thinking about and get taught how to ask for help and how to even close the loop and thank the person for the help they gave and the impact that it made. Because when you're on the receiving end of that, I feel valued and honoured when people come and ask me to help, and only too willing to oblige. But I always wonder, if I don't know or they don't come back and tell me, I wonder how they went with that. And it is a common courtesy to go back and let the other person know. So that's what sprung to mind when I had a little bit of a reflection around it. We judge ourselves for needing help, we fear rejection, and we've never been taught how to do it well.
So building on that, Kendra, what is a framework to ask for help? Like, how could we be taught to ask for help?
Yeah, well, let me dust off some of my difficult conversations type training here. I think often if we're feeling on the back foot by something, by initiating a conversation, we can often be a little bit vague or even apologetic at the start. So instead of saying something like, oh, I'm really so sorry that I have to do this, which completely puts your power under and doesn't give the other person any clue as to what the request might be. I think it's to be clear around what help you need and why you need it, to be more succinct and to come at that, from an equal type relationship. What do I mean by that? It's not okay to offer to pay your friend to help you move. Like, if they're your best friend, they're not going to want money. And as soon as you go, oh, I'd love to pay you to help me move this weekend, it's tainted the request. It's actually offensive. So don't dress it up and apologize. Just be direct and say, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm wondering if you could help me with X. And to be vulnerable and clear about your request. The next thing I'd suggest is the closing the loop. So after you've made the request and you've received the support, thank the person appropriately. Go back and go, hey, here's what happened as a result. Or, thank you so much. My back survived the move well, and I don't think that would have been the case had you not given me a hand to lift some of the heavy furniture. Like, go back and say what it is that the person gave you. And it's usually something you can't see and touch. What is it that the impact was for you personally, and was there an impact for other people? So help them see the difference that they made. They'd be my tips for being clear and more likely to get a yes.
Thank you, Kendra. And I think, my own experience, you use the word vulnerability, and I think it's difficult to be vulnerable. And I think this word can be thrown around quite a bit, as well as the appropriate use of vulnerability. But as a male as well, I think it'd be very difficult for, obviously can I speak from my own perspective, but it can be seen as a sign of weakness. But I think there's been a reset happened in the world, I would say, in the last couple of weeks and months. And I think people want real now, and they want real connections or real conversations. So my reflection and request for everybody is, we'd like to invite you to think about, if someone was to ask you, how could they help you? What could a response be? And as this is personal, we're not going to ask you to share, but maybe just take some time in silence to reflect on that. And just to close that off, one thing I would say is, maybe we can feel like we want to ask someone, how can we help them? We don't know how it's going to be received, as Kendra said. But the feeling when someone asks you, how can I help you, is magical.
Yeah, the stretch challenge is, if there is something that you've been struggling with and you've not reached out for help, who could you ask to help you? So whether it's, the Zoom technology that you need a bit of support with, could be anything. Who could you reach out and ask for support? That's the bonus activity today for the brave. And just to notice what comes up for you as you have that conversation. If you are going to do that, I suggest not doing it over email or text message. Please pick up the phone, given you can't see someone. Don't rip the Band-Aid off via text message.
Thank you, Kendra. Kendra, would I invite you to complete the scan of the other areas today?
Sure. Let's spend a little bit of time thinking about focus. And rather than have a big long list of things that we want to achieve today, what's the most important thing that you'd like to focus on today? Almost like a context that you can set for yourself to keep top of mind, to check in with each hour. How am I tracking? How am I tracking? So choose that for you now. And it is a choice. And how are you going to move? How are you going to incorporate some movement in the day ahead? You're going to get outside and get some fresh air and sunshine, hopefully, or moonlight and stars. But to shake off the cabin fever, what are you going to do to move your body? Is it some resistance training inside? Is it some Tabata? Is it yoga with the kids? Is it walking the dog for the 15th time? Wake the dog up, say you've got one more walk in you. Dave's off for a run. Good to see Dave. So again, choose one thing that you can do to incorporate more movement in your day. And if you are braving the shops, then park a little bit further away and walk. And we've talked about connect. So offering and extending help, or for the brave, asking for help, and notice what comes up. And we'll look forward to hearing what comes up and what your learning might be from today's focal points at this evening's call at 5:15. Same time, same channel, and we hope same people plus more. Thanks for being here, folks.
Thank you, guys.